again, I would say welcome to Unmute. If you're joining for the very first time, yeah, my name is Yomi, and I will be the anchor of Unmute. Um, yeah, so what is Unmute? So Unmute is basically where we bring in persons who are already in the industry to basically come showcase and talk about experiences, stuff they are going through within the career space, what is changing, and I'll just probably like put it in summary, like a place where we come and rant. We unmute and rant about everything technology. So on our very pilot episode, which is exciting for me to run. We're having Tosin Onukute. I don't know if that's the right
Yeah,
pronunciation.
that's the correct pronunciation,
Oh,
actually.
perfect. Yeah. So we're having Tosin Onukute on the episode today, and yeah, basically today's episode will just be talking about adapting into the technological wave. With more focus on how we can build core skills for the changing tech landscape. As I said, Tosin Likite is our guest. He's a senior mobile engineer and he's basically focused on Kotlin, multi-platform, iOS, Android, and he's been in the space for quite a while. So just us getting started, we're just gonna have Tosin introduce himself very briefly, but just very shortly, I'll just mention the fact that Tosin has worked for companies like Check It, Plum, and Della, right? For most of us, we probably know Andela, and beyond that, he has really been someone who has had to adapt with the evolving tech industry. So, Tosin, very briefly, just let's have you introduce yourself, and we'll take it from there.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for the introduction. Yeah, so I'm Tosin, and I've been in the mobile space now, let's say 8 years. Before now, I used to be like a front end web developer, and then moved to mobile. I've been doing that for like 8 years now, working in companies like Andela, Bloom, and other like smaller fintech companies as well. For my career, I've worked with different teams, small teams, big size startups, and I've had to mix a couple of mixed experiences and the differences between both. Why you should choose one, why you shouldn't, and which one is better at the stage of your life. Depending on where you're starting, and all those things I learned as I continued in my journey, and I didn't learn it all at once, right? So yeah, that's all about it.
Yeah, that's very interesting. Thank you very much, Tosi, for that very brilliant introduction. For those who are just getting to probably join, as I said earlier, this is On Mute, and it's basically a podcast where we explore unfiltered stories about you staying relevant with and resilient within the fast-changing tech world. So whether you're pivoting into tech or probably you're just getting started or you're not sure of like the next move, whether tech is for you or tech is not for you, would be talking about such unfiltered stories, and you'd be able to know which direction is best for you. So it's not really about mobile application development because
Yeah.
yes, Tosi is a mobile application focused person. So yeah, so it's basically where you get to learn to adapt, where you get to learn to grow, where you learn to stay grounded in your career if you're already in your career. So let's get into it. Tosi, yeah, we're talking about adaptability in tech, and you definitely know the tech industry has had to change ever since we got to know of, let's say, anything technology. 1991, I think, when the internet got introduced, and it has even further evolved. What we knew as the internet back then is
Mhm.
different from what we know now. We used to know like Edge when it first probably got introduced in Nigeria.
Yeah.
Then before you know it, it's 2G, 3G, 5G, and it's even gonna get even much more. So I'm just gonna start with the question: what does adaptability mean to you within the tech industry? If you can just just share.
So I would say in one word is be able to rapidly evolve with the changing times. Uh,
Hmm.
Rapidly evolve means that you should be able to like adapt to new technologies and know when to adapt at the right time. So there's a caveat there whereby you the kind of person that always like to adapt rapidly, but then you can also do it at the wrong time, which might not favor your own pace as well. So first thing, you know how to adapt, and then know how to adapt at the right time. Also, be careful about the adaptation. Make sure like it goes in line with where you currently are in your journey, in your tech journey, right? And secondly, I would say you have to be like focused, like you have to be pragmatic. You have to be like not so much as a tool focused, but solution based focused, meaning that um if you need to like find the best way to solve a problem rather than use one tool to solve every problem. Let me give you a very simple example, right? Let's say you're a PHP engineer and you're already writing Laravel and you want to build a backend and you want to do like a couple of stuff and then you want to do like real-time applications. Yeah, because you're already using PHP Laravel. You want to just I can just build with Laravel, right? But then you want something like really fast. I want to like try something else that on the back end, maybe something as fast as Go, or depending on what you're building. If you need something like low level, you might want to go something like C++. Yeah, so you need to like look for the best tool for the job, not just oh I learned one thing, let me use this one thing as a silver bullet to do everything that I need. So because people do that, they don't want to like learn new things. I want to go through the stress of let me go and learn this new stuff. It takes time. Yeah, it takes time. So, but the adaptability there is people shouldn't look at it like that. Oh, I'm trying to go and learn something new. You find out that the new thing you want to go and learn, it will take you like a shorter time to actually implement what you want to implement with that new stuff you just learned. Like the whole existing stuff that you think, oh, I know this one thing. Let me just use to solve every problem. The silver bullet is should not be encouraged.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
thank you very much. I think it reminds me of a particular quote. I can't remember the full text of the quotes, but it was when I was starting my internship years back. And one of the things that my boss then said was, if you want to go fast, if you
Mhm.
okay, so basically it's more of you want to break a if you want to break down a tree, you have to first sharpen your axe,
Yeah.
right? So it's important that you as an individual you're able to learn to sharpen your skills
Mhm.
and be able to, because you sharpening your skill actually makes you more adaptable. I believe that is what you're more of saying, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yes, more of saying sharpen your skills, but not just that alone.
Mm,
Understand that there's a problem in front of you. What
mm,
tool is best used to solve this problem?
I
No,
see.
not I already know X. Let me just use X to solve the problem.
To solve the problem, you have to look for the right tools to solve the X
Yes,
problem.
yeah, yeah. Just think about like you're moving houses, right?
Mm,
You have a really nice car, but then you need a wagon to pick up the stuff, the boxes.
mm-hmm,
You could just use your car to move from house A to house B. It's going to take you like 3 times to move it, right?
definitely.
Or if you just get a van, it's going to move it once. Now it's going to take you, oh, like why should I go and get a van? I already have a car. But when you get a van, actually it's going to take you more stress to get the van. But when you get the van, the work actually becomes quicker, easier
Yeah,
and quicker. But the initial stress of going to get the van, it's going to take you a long time. And so
definitely.
it's a mental thing, right? So I've learned this over the years. Why should I just move to something else because I want to build a new thing? I
Mm,
think we should probably like try and learn more stuff that learn more tools that actually fits for the right purpose instead of trying to use one thing, just everything, right? And the first thing I mentioned was evolving rapidly, right? So that's also depending on where we are at the point.
mm,
um, you can adapt by evolving rapidly, but at the same time, you need to be sure where you are. You've gained enough understanding of where you are before you try to move to something else. Let me just give you a brief example. Let's say you're doing like JavaScript. You're trying to get the fundamentals of JavaScript. You started with it, and then you built some solid stuff with maybe you started with React, and then oh, you've not really learned the fundamentals of React, and boom, you just want to like jump to Vue, right? Because oh, I've learned something new. Just jump to view. No, learn, stay where you are, and learn the
mm,
fundamentals. Start from one single place, then build yourself up from that. Then you can now change rapidly. Right? So
mm,
there's an edge case there. You have to be careful the way you are changing so that you will not be like you will not have premature learning. You not learn
mm,
prematurely. So that's one thing people need to take note of.
that makes a lot of sense. I think especially because technology changes fast. we don't get to we don't try to shift ourselves. We don't try to get out of the comfort zone. So I'll give an example. I myself, I wrote PHP. Now, for most persons, this is not a programming chat, but we're just going to chip in a
There's no
little
way
bit
it
of
will come up. There's no way.
yeah. There's no way it won't come up. It's who we are anyway. So I used to write programming language PHP for like a major part of my life, and I was speaking with a friend of mine one time. I was like, "Oh, I'm looking for new jobs," and he was like, "Oh, what language do you write?" And I said PHP. I was like, "Guy, you're still writing PHP," you know. And although while I had evolved over time, I write Node.js and a couple of other languages, but I just felt, quite comfortable with the fact that, well, PHP, I can just easily do it. It's like right at the behind my head, So it's usually difficult sometimes. So let me take it from here now to basically asking you, probably like you sharing a moment where you've had to reinvent how you work or think by virtue of the fact that you have to be adaptable.
Hmm. Yeah, several moments to be honest.
Yeah.
Several moments. I think one of the big shifts that I found is as I go up the ladder in terms of like technical knowledge, I discovered
Mm.
that right, like writing more code does not necessarily mean you're more competent.
Mm.
Because a lot of companies, like senior level management, they actually think, oh, they look at the your output of work. Oh, you've written more code. This one is working.
Mm.
It's the person that actually does the architecture that matters. So the first thing is they give you something to do. So right now, I know that I need to understand the problem very well first before you try to to write any code. So understand
Mm.
first before you code, not code first. Why are coding now? Start trying to understand, right? So as a lot of top level architects, they actually like spend a lot of time architecting more than they write code.
Mm.
Yeah, so oftentimes you might see somebody like in the senior level upper management talking about, oh, we're going to like, oh, check the amount of code people are churning out because they don't actually understand how it works. Like,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, they don't have. That's why sometimes companies like Meta prefer people who are engineers to be also grow up onto their senior level management into the business world, so they will understand how it works. Like when the flow goes down below. So that's a
Mm.
very big thing that I learned. How to architect, like how I think basically about problems. I have to think to solve the problem instead of jumping to code the solution first. So that saves you a
Mm.
lot of time.
It does. It does. It
Saves
does.
you a lot of time.
That's one fascinating thing I think because as an engineer myself, I know at some early levels when I'm probably like preparing for interviews, one of the things I've told is don't just jump straight into writing code. Like look at the problem holistically. And I think it's one of those challenges. I've also had to interview other persons, and when we just talk about, oh, I'm looking at this problem I'm trying to solve, and the next thing is the guy is just like coming back with some scripts. I'm like, I've not even asked you to write any code yet. You're not ChatGPT that you tell a problem, and the next thing the guy has brought a lot of code in itself. So I think it's. I think one of the things is us actually understanding the fact that whether you're a software engineer or
Mm-hmm.
not, I think it is not about us trying to bring in the quickest solution first, but actually analyzing problems, trying to see different ways through which problems could be solved. And I think it's one of those things that could help us to be more adaptable.
Yeah.
Even if we're not a software engineer, or even if you're a software engineer, it helps you to be able to, whether I'm writing JavaScript, whether I'm writing Go, whether I'm writing whatever language,
It doesn't matter
um,
really.
it doesn't matter. That mindset of, okay, how do we effectively solve a problem? Because I think most of the time, and you can also try and look at it, like probably like give a feedback around this. Most of the time, I think we are more of coders as to software engineers, and I think this is the last conversation about software engineers I'm going to talk about. We are more of like, okay, let me just write this code and solve this problem. So we think so much as to how I write the code and how I solve a problem. Do you share the same thoughts? And how do you think we can handle stuff like this?
Yeah, I mean, so the thing is, let me just go and quickly and write a code to solve the problem, right? So it depends on the type of problem you're trying to solve, right?
Mm,
It's a very short, small problem, but then you have to remember what's the impact of the solution I'm giving.
mm,
So you don't think about the impact of the solution. they are giving actually when somebody else is read what you're doing. So it depends. If you're working, if you're just a one man team, you're working on this. Okay, what's the impact of your solution? It's going to solve this problem. Are there any edge cases? That's number
Mm,
one. Number two, if you're working in a team, you have to think about the solution that I'm providing, this code I'm writing. I want to write this really fast. Okay, fine, cool. Are other people going to understand my code easily? Like
mm,
when it's something like people can get by. They don't have to like start reading through comments, trying to understand like what I'm trying to do. In which that's another word entirely, right? Trying to like tell people this is what I'm trying to do instead of writing the thing in such a way whereby people can just look at it and understand, right? So
mm,
do it the right way the first time, right? So it's really important that people just take their time before you're trying to take their time to think about the problem before you try to solve the problem.
mm,
So
mm,
that's
mm.
it's something that something that you learn over time.
Mm-hmm.
You learn over time, actually.
Cool, cool,
Because
cool. So, so,
no,
oh
no,
yeah, sorry.
no one actually like mentored, made mentions of all of this. And I started like, oh, like you should think about the problem very well before you know, go and try and solve the problem. So it's
Mm.
really, really important.
That makes sense. So I'll ask a follow up question on that. Now, for you as an engineer,
Mhm,
what are those core skills or mindsets that has really helped you stay grounded? Yeah, you've talked about a few of them,
mhm.
but like the core skills that you've intentionally had to develop by yourself and has really helped you to stay grounded, even despite the change in technology nowadays.
Yeah. So the thing is, this is kind of a popular one. Just be willing to learn new stuff.
Mm.
Yeah, be willing to learn new stuff and try and shut the doors against any negative. Oh, say, oh, don't learn this new stuff.
Yeah.
Blah blah. It's overhyped. Don't worry, just learn it.
Mm-hmm.
Just learn it and see where it takes you, right? So just be willing to learn as new stuff coming. Just willing to learn, and also you can just watch out for changes and see how other people are kind of like reacting to it. Are other people adapting? Are they actually implementing this new stuff? Willing to learn some new things. For example, if you put me in a team, right, I would rather prefer to work with a group of people who are willing to learn new stuff and someone who doesn't want to like keep doing what they're doing the old way they used to do it.
Mm.
I join a team whereby there are two types of people. Someone who wants to do things the regular way they used to do it for like 6 years, 7 years ago, and then you start having clash, start fighting,
Mm.
like
Mm.
on in meetings. Oh, let's stick to this way. We have been doing it like this. That's been working. Why not just continue doing like this? I'm like, yo, we can try something new,
Mm-hmm.
like new ways to solve these problems, right? Let's try something new. So these are one of the things you have to be willing to learn. To be fair, to be honest, not
Mm.
like a major thing,
Oh.
and you need to understand that the it needs not to be too emotional with your code. Let's
Mm-hmm.
just put it that way. Yeah, don't be too emotional with your code or with the work that you've done because
Mm.
you can always improve on the work. Because when you look back, a lot of the projects you've done, you discover that oh, I could have done this better, could have done
Mm.
I could have done that better. But when you think about it, at that time that you did it, you thought it was like the best thing since sliced bread, right? So now, right now, when you go back and look at your work, you be like, "Oh, I should have done this. I should have done that." That's
Yeah.
that's that's how it is, really.
Mm.
We need to
That,
learn.
that, that that's another beautiful way to look at it. So let's look at people who are in between,
Mhm,
career transitions, people who are trying to learn. Now, for someone who is just entering into the tech ecosystem, now someone who's probably like from a non-coding background,
mhm,
what are those things you would say they should not obsess over? Now, I've had a number of persons come to me as an individual and say, "Oh, Yomi, I'm looking to get into tech." Some people are saying, it's project management, oh, it's cybersecurity, oh, it's software engineering. I still spoke with someone yesterday,
mhm.
and he basically was torn in between cybersecurity and DevOps. And I wasn't just so sure of the best way because when he spoke with a DevOps person, the person said, "Oh, DevOps is it." And he spoke with the cybersecurity person. I was like, "It's cybersecurity. Okay, now me, I'm a software engineer. I won't obviously tell you to come into software engineering."
Oh yeah.
So now, for someone who is from a non-coding background, now what are those core things you tell them not to unnecessarily obsess over?
So this advice is both from whether you're from a non-coding background or from a
Mm,
coding background, really.
mm,
So the first thing is I would say try your hands on things that are the resources that are available to you. For
mm,
example, You said this person wants to do cybersecurity, and they wanted to do maybe software engineering and some other thing, data analytics, right? So the thing is, but number one, what you like to do, the kind of person you are also determines, are you a creative person? Are you a more analytical person? Are you a more numbers person? So you need to find out those what you are from the inception, first of all. Obviously, numbers, people who are good with numbers, they go into such like accountancy and stuff like that.
Mm,
And so you need to find out what you are from that is from your core. Who are you really? What kind of things do you like? Are you a more creative person? Right? Are you more like you like security? Are you the kind of person like numbers, or you like
mm,
science? So once you ask that thorough question, okay, so what next? So what are the resources that are available to me? And what I feel is sometimes you might actually want to go into a particular direction, but the opportunity that are open to you might be on the other direction.
mm-hmm,
Don't be worried, right? Pick up something and start from there. For example, you might want to go into product management, but the opportunities that come to your way is data analytics. Start from there. Start from
mm,
analytics. Start from that data analysis. I'm telling you, when you start from that data analytics, you find out, okay, you start from there. Those experiences that would have helped you in product management, from that data analytics, you will build yourself up in that place. And
mm,
even from that team, when they see what you're passionate about, I'm telling you, opportunities will open up for you as long as the experience you're building that experience, right? You don't have to wait for the perfect opportunity to start something, you need to start somewhere. So you
mm,
need to start somewhere at the time, and as you grow, you begin to like streamline yourself into more like a more linear approach where okay you get the exact thing you're looking for. So at the beginning of your career, you may not get those opportunities. The opportunities that may come your way may not be the opportunities that you want. So instead
mm-hmm,
of just waiting, take what you have that is close to your core skills and then flow with it, right? So that's the first thing. That's those are the two major things I'll tell them, which
mm,
is this advice. It could be for whether you're technical or they are non-technical, right? Those are the two. Those are the two things I would say.
mm, mm. So it's more of yeah, learn the core skills, yes, but leverage the position you are. So
Yeah.
let's say someone is like a customer service person trying to get into project management. There
Mhm.
are tiny bits of that customer service, sorry, of that customer service that actually is project focused. So
Yes.
yes, while you're learning, let's say like project management, start exploring that project management within that space such
Yes.
that when you're trying to maybe like apply for a job and they're asking you for your project management experience, you can leverage the customer service mix into the project and
Hmm.
stuff you've done in that space. Am I
Yes.
correct?
You are correct, and it's funny
Mm.
because you mentioned that, and because I've seen people in that scenario, right? So I working in a company before, I'm not mention the name of the company. We had people in the customer service, and even the way I interact with them, I didn't have this conversation with them, but I knew where each of them will end up
Mm.
because I knew the one that was way more product focused and the one that's like customer centric focused.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I know the ones that don't really care, like whatever the customer thinks. They're paying my salary at the end of the month, right?
Yeah.
So and when I look at them after like a couple of years, I knew where each of them ended. Because the thing is, when you speak to a customer, trying to find out what's the problem of the customer, and then you now say, oh, wow, okay, this the problem this customer is having is a missing requirement on the app. So you write a feedback to the app team and say, this. I suggest why don't we do this and this, right? So that person that made that suggestion, before you know it, you are thinking in a product manner.
Mm.
Something that you don't. It's something that comes naturally to some people, and some people have to learn it. But it means you're thinking in a product manner. If this is missing from the product, it should be there.
Mm-hmm.
Just
Mm-hmm.
give them the feedback, right? Meanwhile, some people will like speak to that same customer and be like, "We don't have this feature. We don't have it, please." So and that would be the end of it, right? So if you
Mm.
leave that same, like you can see like 5 or 7 people in the customer service team, give them like 3 4 years, you see that
Mm.
you will see where each of them, some of them will end up, right? So from anywhere you are, you can learn product management from anywhere you are. Those skills will come up anywhere, whether you're working
Mm.
for yourself, whether you're working for a company, the skills will come up. So that's it. You're absolutely correct.
No, that makes sense then. So now while we're talking about this, now we have new devs, new developers, or even people who are transitioning
Mhm.
that usually fall into certain traps or myth. for example, like I mentioned, project management, for example,
Mhm.
especially we are in the UK, and we would have people who say, "Oh, project management is the new thing. Project management is the easiest career path for anyone to just enter through. And if you enter into tech through project management, every other thing is easy, right?" So that's an example. So have you seen any other such myth or traps that you think people who are probably like new within the tech ecosystem, those that are transitioning, or even developers that you've experienced them, fall into?
Yeah, I've seen those traps that, oh, this is more easier, that's more easier. Well, depending on the opportunities that are available to those people,
Mm,
right? So it
mm,
might be that at that time, a lot of project management opportunities are available. So they if it's available, you take those opportunities.
mm,
So some parts have low barrier of entry, whereby you can easily get in. Some
mm-hmm,
parts, some people would say, even though I don't agree with them so much, that front end has a low barrier of entry, right? That, oh, front end engineers, you can easily enter. Project management, you can easily enter. Yes, fine, it's good, but at the end of the day, you get to that point and then you see that you're struggling. You can't really like
mm,
branch out, can't really move up. You stay there,
yeah.
right? Another thing is, project management is kind of really broad. Can be a project management in a construction company, project manager in a construction company, can be a product manager in a company that are working on two different products that don't even have anything related to each other.
Mm-hmm,
And then, it's wild out there, like the kind of project that people are managing. You can see somebody managing maybe an application, another part of the company, do something completely different, and you're told to manage those two things. So it's tough when you get inside project management itself. So and then you can now elevate yourself. You can now like evolve into product management, as in managing a product for a company.
mm,
All right. So if you just get into it and think, okay, it's something that it is easy to enter, fine. If the opportunities are there, please take the opportunities and start it. Now, when you get into it, you have to like do a lot of research, read
mm,
more, so you know the areas in product management so that you want to like focus on, right? Well, product management, I mean, project management is a big term. It encompasses a lot of things,
mm-hmm,
right? So they need to like streamline themselves into one area and say, okay, for example, if you're a project management in a construction company, it's different from project management. Project management is another thing, right? So project management is just a broad term. So what are you managing? That's the thing. Do you get? So it's very important. Just say, oh, it's easy to just get into it. Fine,
mm.
but you need to know what you're doing and which aspects, and also how are you going to elevate your career from that point that you entered, and then what direction do you want to take yourself to. So that's that thing.
Thank you very much, Tosin, for the wonderful session. It was really amazing having to talk about adaptability in tech,
Yeah.
especially for persons who are trying to, build the relevant skills that can help them through their
Mhm.
tech journey from end to end. And just for a few persons that maybe are just tuning in, I'll just mention a few things that Tosin mentioned. And one of them is the fact that adaptability makes it easy for you to shift easily. So even when technology evolves, when there's a change, you are able to shift easily with it because you're not stuck onto the old ways of doing things. So be willing to shift, be willing to learn new skills, the right skills that you'll be able to use for the right project, whether you're in tech or not. And for
Mhm.
people who are looking to get into communities, you can start from small spaces, even
Yeah.
if you're shy. Leverage the small circles, your immediate community,
Mhm.
and yeah, it's really been amazing having this chat with you, the
Yeah.
pilot edition. If you're looking to, connect with Tosin, I've dropped the link in the chats. You can get to connect with Tosin. Is on LinkedIn. Tosin Onukute, right? Let me just
All
get
right.
that right.
Yeah.
Yeah, Onukute. I've just been praying to get that right.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
yes,
Right.
perfect. And yes, I would love to get your feedback. It's the first episode, and I'm willing to actually get this done the right way. It's the first time I'm trying something
Yeah.
of this nature, and would like to invite, even if you have certain persons you'd like to see on stage, where you'd like to have them come and share their stories, to share their journey, their advice, and every other thing. Please. please invite or talk probably like drop me a DM or something. I would
So,
love to say and have them next on Unmute. So yes, Tosin, it was rich, it was enduring.
yes,
It was
yes,
having to it was exciting having to see you talk about the role of mobile and as well the mind shifts change in itself. And having to talk about the fact that AI is not ready to take over jobs, for sharing so openly. Thank you very much. As I said, listeners, you can find Tosin on LinkedIn. And if this episode really gave you something to think about, please share it, please rate it. We'd like to see your rating. And please join next time as we continue to explore what it really takes to grow in tech. So, as I close, I say this is Unmute. Get to see you later. Bye bye.